All right, YouTube, this Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit with another video. Listen, we're going to deal with this issue. Roland Martin and his panel is called Experts Collective PAC. Biden must spend aggressively with Black-owned media. What makes this video interesting is that these so-called Black leadership people, as far as it goes in the political arena, are being paid and bought for by the Democratic Party. But the problem that they're having now is that the Democratic Party is not really paying them what they would like to be paid, because they know that the majority of the Black populace is not listening to them. So they're scrambling to figure out, how can we get this vote? Because your people not listening to you. We see social media. We see that nobody is listening to your theories or your political strategies to get out the Black vote, because we see social media and we know nobody's listening to you. So Roland Martin is going to say how he wants to charge $2 million. He wants to charge Joe Biden $2 million to campaign for him in the Black community. And he's trying to explain why Joe Biden needs him and needs his support to reach Black people. But in reality, the government, they have people that watch the internet and watch what people say. They know that Black people have already identified Roland Martin as a sellout, boule, you know what I mean? An opportunist. So he's really in this video trying to extort the Biden administration for money to secure the Black vote, which he can't do. So he's desperate. He's telling them that I need the money. If you give me the money, I can get you the Black vote. But they're looking at him saying, we see what's going on in your community. You can't get that vote. You are despicable to your people. The more we invest in you, the more we turn them off. But in his mind, he's arrogant. He doesn't realize that he's being clearly seen. So we're going to look into these dirty politics. Look at how they talk about the money and why they need the money. But like I told you, the Biden administration know that will be throwing good money after bad. It's a bad investment. Nobody's going to listen to Roland Martin. Clearly, he's a sellout. A lot of times, how they got things structured, you have people saying, oh, if you're a conservative, you're a sellout. No, if you are a Democrat, if you're on a Democratic plantation, you are the sellout. That is the Dixiecrats. That is the party of the masters. That is the party of manipulation. That is the party of the destruction of the Black nuclear family. And Black people see that. So I want you to look at his dialogue and what it is that he's jockeying for from the Biden administration. Pay attention closely to his words. This is for fair usage and commentary into the 1976 Copyright Act. Check out this.
All right, folks, the Biden campaign has announced a $30 million campaign blitz targeting battleground states, specifically also targeting Black and Latina outlets. They're really going to be looking at, of course, a lot of March Madness is coming up, and so targeted folks will be watching NCAA games. In addition to that, they also are ramping up their efforts on the ground, opening some 100 offices across these various battleground states. This, of course, is something that I frankly say they should have been doing really 6 months ago, primarily because the campaign was starting a lot sooner. Donald Trump had long announced that he was running, and I was saying in early last year, they have to start much earlier than they normally do. I'm going to go to Julian first. Julian, this is the thing that, again, when you break down when you break down a campaign, They're trying to run this campaign like a normal traditional campaign. That to me makes no sense. If you look at the numbers are very clear, and that is the black numbers are way down. Same thing with Latinos. I have been arguing they needed a much earlier runway, and that is starting much earlier, trying to teach, educate, and enlighten voters on what they've done. They've now put themselves in a difficult position.
I'm gonna stop there just for a minute. Roland Martin said he's trying to teach and educate black voters. You see how condescending their philosophy is. How you gonna educate us like we didn't live through 4 years of Biden, like we didn't live through the Trump administration? Educate us to what? And why do you need $2 million to try to educate us? How about give me the 2 million and let me educate all of Detroit and all of Atlanta and all of the country to what's going on? Because you have already sold the people out. That's why they won't give you the money. They won't give you the money because they know you are ineffective, and they know that the very people you say that you can sway are already looking at you and are already considered you a sellout, a traitor, a bootleg. Bootlegs can't move the grassroots. He wants to continue this idea like he's still a grassroots person. He's corporate. He's bought and paid for. Now he's trying to extort the Biden administration for money. Check it out.
Because now you're ramping up. This is March. You're not going into April. You shorten now your window. At the latest, they should have been going hard in January. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, you're absolutely right about the way that this should have happened. We knew this was going to blow down to a two-person. Dem should have been on top of it. But secondly, and more importantly, Roland, $30 million spend post the State of the Union, which was Brother Biden did a good job. We're going to give him credit for that. But now $30 million is going to who? I mean, we know where the weaknesses are. They're in our community, where we're looking at as many as 20%.
Look at these crooks. They sitting on here, they trying to get some money. Their whole thing is about getting money so that they could attempt to influence potential black voters who are leaning towards Trump. But they're so delusional and don't realize that black people see them clearly and know that they are bought and paid for the Democratic Party, and they're un-American race baiters. You know what I mean? The first thing they want to talk about, they get to talking about color over politics because they want to tell you that we should vote based on a color line or based as a group while they get paid, but the community suffers. Joe Biden has did nothing for the black community. They keep saying they have to explain to us what Joe Biden has done for us. How you going to explain the fact that he's done nothing? We see that. He's done nothing. And the only thing he promises for the coming election, if he's elected, is abortion. We don't need that. I don't need that. But I want you to listen to these played out old sellouts.
Some say 30% of African American people, especially men, leaning toward the orange man. So we're looking at that. We're looking at diminished enthusiasm among African Americans, especially younger people. Who are the people who have these contracts? Who are the people out of what slice do we get out of this $30 million? We know that we are
Listen, what she's finna say, and she's finna lie. She is not a representative of the black community. You know what I mean? There are people that sit on YouTube and speak the Democratic talking points. So if it's about the Democrats giving them money, I don't think that you coming on YouTube is going to make the Democrats give you money, because we're going to dissect what you say and we're going to put it back out there, and they're going to see that you don't deserve any money because you negotiating through extortion on the internet. You trying to tell them if they don't give you any money, they're going to lose the total black vote. Because basically, y'all already know that majority of black people who are intelligent are leaving Biden's Democratic plantation. So now this is a last desperate attempt to get some money and line y'all pockets at the expense of the community. She's not asking for any money for programs or policies. She's asking for money to get on the internet and do exactly what I'm doing, which is no, they're not going to do what I'm doing because I'm not on here lying for money. You know what I mean? So, but they want to be paid to get on here and tell black people the benefits of Joe Biden, as if we were ever benefited, you would have to tell us. People in the comments, if you've ever had a benefit, did somebody have to tell you that you benefited?
Roughly 30%, could be more, of the Democratic base. If that's the case, they're spending $30 million. Are we getting 30% of that $30 million? That would be $9 million. How much of it do you have? How much of it does BET have? How much does other black media have? They have a whole.
They saying they want to give the 9 million. They want the 9 million for black corporate media or the black faces that represent corporate media. They want $9 million to try to convince us that Joe Biden did something for us that we've never seen or we never felt in our pockets. We know the price of eggs and the price of butter and the price of gas has went through the roof. Why nobody's getting a raise and they still cutting benefits. But they want to tell you that they deserve 9 million because they're going to convince us to go Democratic for another 4 years. These people are nefarious. They dirty.
Array of podcasters and others who are getting little subsidies. How many of them are of African descent? How many of them speak to their base? You know, Roland, there's a company. I was doing some research because I want to know who they're spending the money on. And there's a company called Putnam. They've done 6 presidential campaigns. They're white owned and they're highly regarded. They don't even have black subs, black subcontractors. So what kind of spit?
Look at these race baiters. They jealous of the white Democrats that got the money to run the campaign. This is weird. I thought y'all was all on the same team. If y'all all on the same team, then it shouldn't be about money. Surely you believe in the politics. You believe in what Joe Biden is saying. You believe in his ability to change the condition in the urban communities. But you're not willing to support it unless you get $9 million.
Is that if Democrats want our vote, they're going to have to treat us like they treat everybody else. When they announce a $30 million spend, here's what needed to happen. They needed to say, and X number of dollars are going to independent black media. X number of dollars, you can't say it, but I can, are going to Roland Martin Unfiltered. You have produced, supported every African American cause. You have folks on every GD day, just about. What's up? What's in it? And I'm not talking about you, Roland. I'm talking about what's in it for us. Most of us know that you speak to Black America, so you need about.
Now, when she say what's in it for us, she's not talking about the community. She's talking about what's in it for us. Paid shills. These shills are getting bold. They're getting bold. They're demanding money. They're demanding money. They're almost to the point to where they're trying to extort the Biden administration because they fear that he is going to lose a majority of the black vote that will aid Trump and to get it in the White House. And it's gotten so bad, even the people that don't support Trump in the black community, will not vote Biden. So that's why they're talking about you got to fear the couch. But they still bring out these traitors as if black people don't see them clearly. That's why I keep posting their faces and keep letting you hear what they talk about from their own mouths. They're selling themselves and at the same time trying to sell out our community.
$1 million, 2 million, maybe 3 million. There at Roland Martin Unfiltered. But not only that, we need to stand up for ourselves. I don't want to withdraw black votes from Democrats at this time. I will leave the country if the orange man, seriously, I got 2 trunks in my living room. If the orange man is elected.
You see, she keeps saying that she don't want to draw black votes. What they're really doing, listen to behind the scenes, they're trying to extort the Biden administration out of a percentage of 30 million, which they have already deduced that they should get 9 million, just to talk about how they can lead black people back to the Democratic plantation, which is not going to happen. And they don't realize that the world sees them clearly, and Biden people who handle money see they can't do it. You can't deliver the vote. So why are you asking for the money? Nobody's listening to you. You have become a pariah to your own community because of your disingenuousness and the fact that they see you clearly now. They know you're not one of them. They know you want elite status and you want to be closer to your master, or you want to be closer to political power. So you come into black people as if we're stupid, as if we don't know that you're trying to sell us out for 9 million. Roland, all you want is 9 million. You're gonna sell us all out for 9 million, bro. Say it ain't so. I'll Joe Biden give you the 9 million. You ain't gonna be able to pull it off.
President, I'm up out of here. I'm 70. I can't do this spit no more. However, that's not the point. We don't want to withdraw our votes, but we want to be appreciated. If you announce a $30 million ad buy, who's getting the money?
Here's McCongo. This is the CBS story right here. First, hold on, folks. Let me pull it up first. Give me a second. No, wrong. Don't go yet. I'm switching iPads here. Okay. This is the story from CBS. It says his campaign announced a 6 weeks advertising campaign Friday with a buy that exceeds its total spending in 2023, signaling a shift to the general election. The ads will run on TV and also on radio through Black and Hispanic owned outlets, as well as on digital platforms. There will also be specific buys geared towards the March Madness NAACP college basketball tournament this month. Now, to Julian's point, Macongo, this is give me 1 second. This is a press release that went out in 2000 and give me 1 second. I want to share it. This is a press release that went out in 2020. Now, the date on this press release is August 6th, 2020. Go to my iPad. And so it says, yesterday, Biden for president announced a $280 million general election paid media reservation across TV, digital, and radio outlets targeting 15 key battleground states. Well, if you go down and then you see here, they tout the reservations will include historic investments to reach key constituencies, including African Americans, Latinos, Asian American, Pacific Islanders. And then this is the key. This includes a massive 8-figure multimedia investment in African American paid media. So you see in here, they mentioned NNPA, Urban One Network, they mentioned Shade Room, and they said numerous digital media outlets. They said, and so this planned investment builds on an earlier 6-figure buy that was one of the earliest ever investments in African American media for a presidential race. So then when you go down in this particular item here, so they touted the various folks, different quotes in here saying this is great. Okay, so once we got into it, most of that money was not going to Black-owned media. It was going to BuzzFeed, which then owned Complex. It was going to iHeartRadio. It was going to BET, which is Viacom. Okay, and it actually was a total of $6 million out of $280 million. Here's the problem, Omakongo, that they now have.
I want you to see, look at the numbers, how cheap they selling us out for. 6 million, 9 million to sell out a whole community of people that's nationwide. 6 million. But see, they demonstrating their character. This is why you cannot trust anybody that is affiliated with the Democratic Party at this particular time. Because at this particular time, they are anti-country and anti-God. So it's all a money grab.
African Americans, the further you get away from the civil rights movement, fewer African Americans identify as Democrats. Black voter participation has gone down since 2008. So that's 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. So you got that issue. And so the reality is they're going to have to spend more money to reach African Americans because you now have to micro target African Americans. The old model, and we keep saying this, and I'm telling you, the white consultants of the Democratic Party had better wake up. The old model to reach black voters is gone. You do not have a strong infrastructure of the NAACP on the ground. You do not have a strong black church infrastructure that you used to have. The voting groups are younger. They're not necessarily going to church. You're going to have to micro-target African Americans who are economic voters, African Americans who are social voters, African Americans in terms of black men. You got to have a very clear, targeted, deeply rooted program targeting black men. I don't think they fully understand you can't run the same campaign in 24 that you ran in 2016, 2012, and 8 with Obama.
Absolutely. And, my daughter is actually going to be voting in her first election this year. And we have all these conversations about politics. And I don't hear anything about any targeting that's happening towards her in her social media spaces or networks and things that she watches. I think one of the challenges that the Biden administration is going to have is that they are going to spend more time going after Nikki Haley's voters and, independent voters and neglect a large portion of the black community. And like you said, when it comes to the black community, primarily targeting those who
This whole argument that they're having is about getting some money directly to them. That's bold. That's bold. Maybe I should try that. Maybe look, if y'all want to keep hearing me on the internet, y'all need to send me some money now. I need it now. I need it now, or you're not going to get the benefit of my infinite wisdom. I need it now. That's what they're saying. But it's a con because they don't have the influence on grassroots community leadership. They ostracized at this point. They just talking heads on the internet. You know what I mean? And you may say I'm a talking head on the internet, but guess what? I know that everybody that subscribed to me, we're not Biden supporters. We're not voting for Biden under no circumstances. So how could you target me? What can make somebody who's already witnessed 4 years of Biden's administration in his politics vote for him? They say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. What if they give him 9 million that he asking for and his crew 9 million? They just done gave them 9 million because they don't have the intellect or the facts to support what they're gonna be telling the people. This is why they're making a money grab. This is why this whole podcast that he did was an extortion to the Democratic Party. That's why I'm doing a reaction to it to let them know y'all can give me the money all y'all want to. Ain't nobody still gonna listen to him.
are older in church, the quote unquote civil rights legacy type voter. And as you said before, many young black people are not identifying with that on many levels. They have economic interest, business, and not saying that our older community doesn't, but what I'm saying is they don't resonate on the same level. And you also see Trump and his party, they're creating all of these other images that, you know, even though they got these fake AI generated images and the sneakers and so on and so forth, at the very least is generating a conversation about how to target young Black people. And the Biden administration has to do a better job in getting with that program. And if you said 6 million out of 280 million,
yeah, that was us.
In 2020,
look,
right?
Look, and I have no problem saying it. We submitted a $2 million proposal. They came back and literally said, "Hey, you know, we can give $20,000 to 4 Black papers." Are they happy? I said, "Well, that ain't us." The eventual ad spend, then they came back at 100. I said no. They came back at 200, and they said final was 300. And I said yes. And then I blasted them afterwards. They were like, "Well, you blasted us." I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. You thought I was happy with 300?" The answer is no. And so again, what I keep trying to articulate to them, the Black voter is different. And I'm telling you, folks are not understanding this. Teresa, you're there in Philadelphia. You're one of the battleground states. Are you hearing Black-owned media getting any of this $30 million?
Well, yeah, I have 2 hats. Also working with the Pennsylvania.
Now I'm offended. Roland Martin accepted $300,000 to sell us out. Man, you gonna sell us out for $300,000? Just $300,000, bro? Them head prices, man. You gonna sell out all of your people for merely $300,000? If you would just tell the truth and just be a regular blogger or a regular podcaster, you probably could grind up on $300,000 without selling none of us out, bro. He just told us he accepted $300,000, but he wanted $2 million. Are y'all listening to them? Can you see what they're clearly saying? They're not even, you don't even have to read between the lines. They're telling Joe Biden them, y'all had $30 million that y'all want to campaign and target the Black community. We didn't get any of that money. We should have got at least $9 million. Well, since we didn't get $9 million, give me 2. He negotiated and got $300,000. And then he said, well, I'm not satisfied with it. And they like, well, you're not going to really be effective anyway, so be happy you got anything.
Democratic Party. So I am hearing they are getting it. And we actually, because I'm actually in the room for these conversations, are actually targeting local Black independent papers here in the city of Philadelphia and other smaller counties across the Commonwealth. So, but I agree with your point, Roland. There has to be someone like you on the national scale when they are putting these budgets together and not just thinking of just an easy, like it's easy to get to Viacom, it's easy to get to the Grio, it's easy to give to these major national media outlets versus.
He doesn't work for the Biden administration, so he says. So why should they be giving him any money to market to Black people when we clearly don't even listen to him? We don't trust him. He is the Benedict Arnold. If it's any patriots that's going to see this podcast, do y'all know who Benedict Arnold is? Judas, Brutus, Sammy the Bull. Let me think of another famous traitor. Brutus, Judas, Sammy the Bull, Benedict Arnold. Them is about the most famous ones. And then Roland Martin. He gaining on them.
Dealing with the local ones because they hit a lot of targeted areas, but the targeted areas isn't really reaching our people and our communities. That's why in Pennsylvania, we made sure that our targeted approach was having the regional ones, but also the local papers, because the local papers are also still putting boots on the ground.
Yeah.
They're still, dropping it in corner stores. They're still, making sure it's at your doorstep versus the other ones who, say, hey, we're cutting costs because of circulation. They, if they cut out of a certain district or a neighborhood, you're also losing out on that information.
And Teresa, again, this is an election about the margins. Listen, don't take my word for it. If you call Virginia House Speaker Don Scott, we worked with them. We did 5 town halls, broadcast the show. He said thousands of people were watching. He said he said the work that we did played a huge part in them retaking the House. And so this is not just about what we do. You've got Earn Your Leisure. You've got other Black podcasts out there. You've got other Black digital outlets. You've got other Black-owned media outlets. And so, again, what I'm trying to explain to folks, I do on this show as well, when I see these polls, I understand that because I've probably been in 20 cities since MLK Day. And I know what I'm hearing in those 20 cities. I'm talking to regular, ordinary people. I'm not talking to political people and folks with money. They have a problem. And they have a problem with the couch. And they have to fight the couch. There were 3 PACs that announced that they're going to be spending some $30 million reaching African Americans, Latinos, Asian American, Pacific Islanders. Quentin Brown is a co-founder of Collective PAC. He joins me in studio.
Isn't it amazing that all year round, these politicians won't do nothing for us? But then when it get close to election time, they spending $30 million a pop for people just to talk to us and convince us. That's deep. He should get $9 million for what? To lie to us and to make us think that we should be beholden to Democrats who have destroyed our communities, undermined our whole way of life, decimated our country, trying to replace us with immigrants to vote. But on their way out the door, he want $9 million.
And
I hope they
Quentin,
give it to him.
this thing is real. When you study the numbers, when you go to these states, look in Texas with Beto running in 2022, 75% of young people under 30 did not vote. Okay, there was a 50,000 voter drop off in Milwaukee. Those 50,000 folks vote in 2022 and 18. Adela Barnes is U.S. Senator, and you get the Congress, right? And you get the Congress, and so it's so my deal is I hope look at the DNC and the Biden campaign are paying attention to what we're talking about because we're actually in these communities, and I'm telling you right now, what I am hearing and seeing will be fewer Black folks voting in 2024 than who voted in 2022. That's the problem. He's going to need every available vote, a Black vote, especially Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Exactly. And listen, that's why these 3 groups came together for a historic endorsement. Usually endorsements happen in August, September, towards the election. We wanted to come out early in March and say, we are coming out first and say we want to stand with Joe Biden. We know he has a record, right? We have the receipts on what he's done for our community. But to your point, our community doesn't know about it, right? They haven't heard these things from the campaign. And so we really think.
Okay. Explain to me like I'm 4 years old how somebody did something for me that I benefited and I don't know about it. Okay. I know I'm almost 60, but talk to me like I'm 4. Because if I ever had a benefit, I'm sure I knowed about it. You know what I mean? If I would have been pleasured, I would have known about it.
That the campaign, in our opinion, started after State of the Union, right? This past weekend, folks kind of feeling a little energized. They saw the State of the Union. They think Joe Biden did a good job, which we do too. And so we were in Atlanta this past weekend with Senator Warnock, with Senator Ossoff, with Mayor Dickens. And I can tell you there is energy building on the ground since last Thursday. This commitment for $30 million in an ad buy, I think, is a first step in this process. But, Roland, we agree. We have to make sure that Black voters understand what Joe Biden has done. They need to hear it from Black media. And so it's going to be really critical that we partner together with you and others. And part of that commitment.
They making their case. They begging for that money. Why y'all didn't do this in private? Y'all couldn't have got on the phone and called them and said this. Y'all gonna really come out in front of the world and tell them that y'all need parts of that $30 million so that y'all convince Black people to vote for Biden as if we listen to y'all? You starting to make me think this whole country is one big Ponzi scheme. You know what I mean? What's going on? Because if that's the case, like I said, give me the money. Since, you know, they issuing out money to convince people to do something against their wishes, they really paying them to lie. Like they do Joy Reid. You know what I mean? Joy Reid is paid to lie. And she's good at it. But Roland Martin, he too arrogant. He should have never made this video where he was talking about the money because he keeps jockeying for the money. They keep saying about some type of benefit that the black community got from Biden, but it's a mystery to the people. So they need to pay somebody all these millions of dollars to explain to us how we benefited over the last 4 years. Really? I think
It is
not.
our own money, right? We are committing $10 million. We're investing in Georgia alone as an organization to make sure, again, that people not only know of the receipts that we have, but that we're doing it and communicating with folks the right way, right? So black newspapers, black digital shows like yours and others, it's going to be really critical to our ability to win this election. And see, this is the piece that is, I think, is hard for consultants to understand. You can run ads all day. You can run TV and radio ads, but you simply do not have the time in a 30-second or a 60-second spot to actually explain policy. Exactly. To actually explain this got done, this got done, this got done. And that's why I sort of frame it that the campaign should be thinking about an education and enlightenment strategy where you literally are going into various cities and towns. You got to hit rural Georgia. You got to hit rural North Carolina. Explaining, done this. We're going to chat in a moment with Higher Heights. And look, Terrence Woodbury with his strategies, he's laid out in his own research in the focus groups. When you explain to black people what's actually been done, it completely changes their perspective. Exactly. But if you don't actually take the time to explain it,
I'm going to end on that note because clearly black people, we're dumb. Roland Martin is telling the Democratic Party, we're dumb. We're dumb. He has to translate policy to us. He has to translate what's going on in our lives for us. And he got to tell us how good you're going to be to us. And he's only going to charge you $2 million to do it. All right. That's enough for me on this topic. Signing out of Detroit. Salute to all patriots. Keep y'all head on a swivel. Peace. Like, share, and subscribe.